Welcome back to Bar Craft Conversations.
We stay crafty.
Represented by the Kelly Rose Group.
Definitely.
Rocking the Mecca versus everybody today. Mecca, true Philly guy, great bartender. Worked in Fells Point for some years now. He's out back in Philly. Shout out Brian. Today we're going to spotlight neighborhood dive bar out in Upper Fells. We all love it. If you don't know, now you do know.
So the soup du jour today will be Jameson.
Neat. Okay, I like neat.
So what's cool here is most spots I've worked at before, or anywhere, a standard shot's 1.5 ounces. Here our shots are 2 ounces, so I mean they're just hefty. All this we have pour. I mean we don't have pour spouts, so everything just gets measured. So you just right in front of you, you see the 2 ounces being measured.
Do you like it better that way?
Which way, the measuring?
Yeah, the measuring.
I like it in the sense that you definitely get less complaints about drinks not being strong enough and all that. The only drawback is if it's super busy, sometimes it can definitely slow you down. But, again, a smaller neighborhood bar, it never really gets to that point where it's overwhelming. So, it's a mild inconvenience, but for this spot, it makes total sense why we measure it that way.
Yeah, no.
Right? Between cost and, keeping people happy and making sure people get some stiff drinks and get what they paid for.
What made you pick vendors? I remember, was that your first day when we first met?
We met prior to that, but around Fed Hill. But I think I saw you here. If it wasn't my first day, I was still very, very early on.
Yeah. How have you liked it so far?
So far, so good. It's such a different style of bar than what I'm accustomed to. But no, it's cool.
Do you, in the sense of when you said different styles, because you were in Fed Hill, were you in here before you were in Fed Hill?
I was at Mother's in Fed Hill, and that was actually my first job in this industry.
Okay.
I have no other reference besides that one. But it was just different. Whereas over there, it was I'd bar back, I'd serve, bartend. So, as a bartender, I'd do things. Table service. You have service tickets.
Yeah.
I guess more volume would be the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different style.
These neighborhood bars, it's more you really have to give hospitality, if that makes sense. Because here in Fed Hill, people are coming from all around, the county, coming up there. I've been Fed Hill a lot in my early 20s, and then you might never see them again. These people here live in this area. Yeah. So you have Brad comes every day at 4:00. Right. Do you like it better in the sense of the more personable bars or the volume?
The grass is always greener on the other side, right? I like a balance of both. I do love the aspect of having so many regulars. It is cool because it does feel like a little community. Yeah. And I feel like it tends to lead on, even if the volume's not quite there, it's the money's still great because you tend to get higher tips on average just because of the relationships that you build with the type of people. I also love the volume too because sometimes just the ADHD brain in me is I just need to just lock in and start slinging.
Slinging drinks, right? Slinging drinks. Yeah, no.
So kind of like a mix of both.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I agree with that too. Yeah.
It's honestly very similar. So I mean, with Mother's, you can't really compare money with a purple patio, for example, in the same way O's home games at Pickles, right? Yes. It's always that's an unrealistic comparison point. But on a day-to-day shift, it's honestly it's right in the same ballpark. Over there, it was a little bit more volume, whereas opposed to here, it's less volume, but like I said, kind of higher on average tips because of the relationships you're building with all the regulars who live in the neighborhood. You're seeing a lot of the same people over and over again.
What brought you to the industry?
So crazy enough, I lived in New York City for about 5 years before I moved down here.
Yeah.
And I already had a job. I worked in corporate finance for almost 10 years, I think 8 years or so.
Yeah.
So when I moved to Baltimore, I decided, I want to kind of just, meet some people. This was still during right after COVID lockdowns. Meet some people, make some side cash. So my job was remote. I was a financial analyst. I said, let me just pick up a bar. I wanted to bartend, but bar backing job at Mother's just to, make that side cash and the friends, like I said. I wound up absolutely loving it. I wound up caring more about that spot than my actual day job.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years or so after that, my company in corporate had mass layoffs. I was one of them. And then at that point, I started, interviewing again. I got some job offers, but I talked to my gym at Mother's, and I was I'll be honest, I have offers to go back there, but I kind of love it here.
Yeah,
so I wound up going full time there. And then eventually they closed, RIP. But like I said, basically just started off as a little side job, extra cash, meet some people. Wound up just loving that place and also just the industry itself. So yeah, made a full career switch.
It's fun, man. Like people come to the bars. Everybody goes to bars and restaurants. Doctors, teachers, everybody, man. So it's like, you know, again, the purpose of all this is to let people know, like, you know, like we love what we do, and we bring a lot of people joy. So I just want other people to understand that, like, you know.
Oh, you can tell too if you're on the other side as a guest, right? You can tell if the person actually cares about wanting to give you good service or not. Like
That's so true.
My favorite bar story, I think this was 2 years ago. It was during a purple patio at Mother's. This was like the tail end of the night. Things are dying down, but there's still hell of people. And I'm bar back and then inside the front bar. And we look outside, and all of a sudden, one of the porta potties is just on fire, like fully engulfed in flames. Like we're talking crazy. So my bartender, storie, at this point, I was actually on my phone, like DoorDashing Taco Bell. I was like, let me just order some Taco Bell for everyone, bring the vibes up. It was an awesome day. But also, like, I'm on my phone ordering it, and all I hear is, bro, get buckets of water now.
So you guys have to put the fire out.
Yeah, so he gives me buckets. So we start filling up these buckets of water in the sink. But now, keep in mind, right? So I'm filling up the buckets of water right here. There's a fire extinguisher right here. So we grab the buckets of water, they're full, and we run out the bar. Mind you, there's also another fire extinguisher right at the end of it. So we ran past 2 separate fire extinguishers, carrying buckets of water, like we're putting out like a village fire. But at this point, our GM, Leslie, shout out to GOAT, I had already put out the fire with a fire extinguisher because, yeah, she's smarter than us. But it was one of the funniest things ever. We were watching the cameras afterward, and we were just fucking dying of us just, filling up buckets of water to put this giant porta potty fire out.
Shout out Connor.
Shout out Connor.
You gotta get some video footage of that burning porta potty. Somebody has it.
We're gonna hit somebody up and try to get that footage. Yeah.
Fired up. It's a staple in the Upper Fells area. It keeps the neighborhood afloat. It's not too far from Hopkins. A lot of Hopkins students go there.
They got pool tables.
Dartboards. He explained kind of basically what we were saying before about, you know, the neighborhood vibes, how you have to be consistent. When I think of neighborhood and I think of dive, it's very similar, but it's like 9 identical twins, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
Because it gives you that same vibe. It supports the neighborhood. Most dive bars are in neighborhoods. But neighborhood bars, when I think of a neighborhood bar, I think of Grateful Fed, Don't Know. So it's a little more elevated because you can get a crab cocktail, like an espresso martini or an old fashioned. When you go to a dive bar, you're not getting that. You're getting a beer, a nice 2-ounce pour. You might not want to sit in the toilet seat. Not saying all of them, but I'm saying that's not the spot you want to go. But that's kind of my big distinction between the two. Yeah. But they still give you the same neighborhood vibe because since you're part of the neighborhood, you have to be consistent because you don't have that same foot traffic.
Speaking of consistency, Benny's has been there for a while, right?
Oh, yes, it has 13 years.
Shout out to them.
Yes. You don't do that on accident. It's a very welcoming atmosphere. They show games. They're open 365 days of the year. And they're open till 2 o'clock a.m. every single day, which makes that bar so cool because, you know, consistency is key in this line of work. And speaking of consistency, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Tap Water.
Hey!
The original hydration. Cool.
Can't beat it.
Coming through these 100-year-old pipes with mystery things in it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Get all your minerals.
Get all the minerals. Shout out Tap Water. And while we have this moment, I'd like to give a second shout out to our newest sponsor, you know, Air.
Woo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Warning. Quality may vary.
You have inside air, outside air, and Dundalk air.
Speaking of consistency, I think I need a soup.
You know what the soup of the day is? James.
Gotta enjoy the soup, because what would Barcraft Conversations be without a soup? We had a soup there, but we having a soup here. Cheers, my brother.
Cheers. How many people you know sponsored by Air and Tap Water?
We appreciate y'all.
We appreciate y'all.
The thing about neighborhood bars that a lot of people don't really get, that there is a different culture. When you go to like more mainstream places, you normally have a lot of security and things of that nature to deal with the regular traffic. But when you go into like a dive bar, a neighborhood bar, I find that the people who actually frequent there, end up acting like security. They like, this is our bar, don't come in here acting crazy, doing all this.
Neighborhood bars has a secured village because that's where those people, that's where they frequent, that's where they get away from whatever they're trying to get away from. That's part of their routine. You know, they get off work at 5, they go there at 6 or 7, they get their drink, they eat their meal they go to, and they go back to whatever nonsense. That's their escape. And people have those escapes too, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But these people live sometimes 2 houses down. Or maybe they live outside the neighborhood, but they frequent there because it's consistent. You know, those places have bartenders that have been there 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Mike's been there for 13 years. Yeah. It's things like that. That's what
becomes a staple.
And don't get me wrong, other places have people that stay in bars and restaurants a long time, but it's very different because it's like if you don't know about it, you don't know. Bender's been there for 13 years, and I dropped when working at Pickles. People from the neighborhood like, where should I go? Like, you gotta check out Bender's, or you know, you can go pull up Upper Fells Point. You could I like Don't Know. I used to live across the street from there. That's a good spot. You know what they're gonna get every single time. You know on Tuesdays and Wednesdays this person works. You know, Thursday, Friday, this person works. Yeah. And you're like, yo, go down there, you know, order this, tell them Les sent you.
I've always been one of those people who go out of town. And when I go out of town, I tend to talk to like the door people who actually know what's going on. Or what I like to do, staying in a hotel and they have a bar, the first thing that I do is I go to the bar and grab a drink and make friends with the bartender. Why? Because this person is going to tell me the places to go. I don't necessarily want to fall into the tourist trap. Your bartender knows what's going on. So when you have people come and visit you from out of town, staying at your house, you're going to take them to your local neighborhood bar and they're going to have a good time. And it's like you said, it's just one of those staples. So if you are lucky enough to be out of town and you're staying at a hotel that has a bar, holler at your bartender.
I'll tell you, prior to me moving to this city, I would visit it a lot, and I didn't know about these places. Yeah. I knew about your mainstream, you know, your Mad Rivers, your Mothers, RIP both of them, your Socials, RIP that. Yeah. No Way Jose. R.I.P. that. Stalking Horse. R.I.P. that. All these Riley's Oyster House. R.I.P. that. All these places are gone now because those places are specifically dependent on foot traffic of the area. Now, let some goofy happen over there, then people aren't coming. We don't want people getting shot or, you know, something's going on.
Nobody wants that going on.
Something crazy happens down there, you're done. Yeah. But these neighborhood bars have been here for so long because these people can't go nowhere. They live in this area, and people love to frequent bars and restaurants, whether, like I said, to get a drink, to get some food. That's what you're going to do.
You know, when you have that insider scoop, which Barcraft Conversations is bringing, especially with your experience, the hospitality business is very big. And being a part of that, you really change people's perspective of what a city is. Because people go and see all this stuff, but then when you go and you actually meet a bartender who actually is like, boom.
Give them a great experience, then you have regulars that come to the city just to see you. Like I have people that come from upstate New York, California, Florida, all around this space. And then shout out Facebook, and we exchange numbers and stuff too, but they're like, hey, I'll be there in a month. I'll be there in 2 weeks. We're going to come visit you. And it's like, that's cool. Like, you know, that's a one perk of working at the same spot for a long time too, because like we're in town right now, or you just see them and like that 15, 25 second connection. And then like, Les, I'm like, oh man, like you're back, you know? That's dope because you really show those people a great time. And that's not a price on that. You know, it's
a network. Hospitality is a huge thing. So I commend you on the things that you do. And I don't really think that people understand how much pride you take into doing your craft, bro. Like, you one of the best I've ever seen do it. That's why we're doing Barcraft Conversations. Because we're going to pull up on some great bartenders. Because you're a great bartender who know great bartenders, who are great bartenders. That's all I gotta say, bro.
And when people say like great bartenders, it's the whole aspect of bartending because you have different people. You know, I always use an example. You got my man Zach lighting stuff on fire, blowing smoke bubbles. You got Kyle bashing stuff. Like there's different types of bartenders.
There's different types of bars and bartenders.
Speed bartenders, you have people like my man Dre, owns Ellie's Tavern, one of the fastest bartenders I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
When I was just starting the bartend, it was faster to just let him make the drink than me make it and I'll just ring it in. You know, that was our process. But and just making people feel good. You can be as fast and as do all of that, but if you don't make people feel good, then it's the conversations aspect in itself. So
It's like, it's levels to it.
it's being an overall just good player, you know? There's a skill to it. And like I said, I ain't blowing smoke bubbles. I am shoulder bopping though.
You know, when you show up every time like you do, and the fact that you have so many people willing to hop in and pull up on this, one of the things that I really want to do, I want you to guest bartend at a spot. I want us to do a Barcraft Conversations there and really make it a good time.
There's going to be a lot of conversations. We're going to pull up on a lot of people.
A lot of good time.
We want a spot like that next too, because I want to see people's pours. And if you don't know your pours or don't know how to do this or that, I think we should start doing some training videos or have a little separate thing. Get your pour count right. I can show you everything from how to properly upcharge, how to properly remember certain things universal and certain things you can't learn unless you come work for Kelly Rose. Pours universal. You either know or you don't know it.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, to get in Kelly Rose, the first thing that you got to do,
Shoulder bop.
pours.
Because everybody knows a universal pour is an 18-second count, 1 through 18, you know? And the people that are not in your head, you don't know how to pour.
The shoulder bop is very important. Because that comes to the customer service and hospitality end. Like, I don't care how good your pour is. If your shoulder bop is not right.
And even before the shoulder bop too, it's presentation. You know, you smile.
It's one of those things where...
And again, if you're at the proper dive bar that comes with it, I just don't want you...
we don't need to be serving musty drinks.
Yeah, you don't want to drink. Yeah, I'm the drink to come with some must.
Extra layer of must.
Yeah, extra layer of must.
Especially with our sponsor being there.
Yeah, so in the air. You don't be contaminating the air.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Dundalk.
Whole nother story. Yeah. We might have to pull up. Is there any good bars in Dundalk?
There's some great bars in Dundalk. I ain't trying out here and bash Dundalk because I don't want Dundalk to bash us because there's some really cool bars in Dundalk. I told you. I just said that. I didn't say it was bad air quality. I just said there's three different sets.
It has a little bit of musk.
You got inside air, you got outside air, you got Dundalk air.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah, but yeah, happy days. Shout out to the sponsors. Shout out to Barcraft Conversations. And we might come pull up on you. So make sure your pours is right.
And you might want to pull up with us. Tag some bartenders.
If the bartender's not on point, you owe me 25 push-ups.
Yeah.
And you ain't getting no tap water. I think next on our stop, we're gonna hit Grateful Fed.
Yeah.
Hit Grateful Fed, pull up my man Billy. Another cool bartender, great bartender. We worked together at Pickles. So we shoulder bop a few times. We're gonna see what he's talking about. See what his soup of the day is. See what they got going over there, because this is not a dive bar, neighborhood bar.
Yeah.
So you could you'll be able to. It's very similar, but you'll see they're not identical, but they're fraternal.
Yeah.
And you'll see some of the similarities, but the difference. You know, they're. I mean, granted, I don't know what this soup's gonna be, but you know. I mean, maybe it's Jameson. I wouldn't be upset with that.
So what we're going to have to do is like a soup of the day rating.
Oh yeah, we can start rating the soup.
Start rating soup of the day.
Comes in a glass bowl. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But you know, we'll start rating these soups, and we're gonna check out some more of these neighborhood bars, dive bars, and see what they got going on.
I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. Till next time. We got merch. It's available. Make sure you get your Barcraft Conversations.